My sister got a fully paid trip to Europe for her birthday. Dad hugged her and said, "You deserve the world." I opened my gift, a $25 gift card, and a lecture about learning gratitude. I just smiled, packed my laptop, and moved out that night. 2 weeks later, they called in tears when they realized I'd taken my freelance income, the one paying their mortgage. Watched my sister blow out 23 candles while our parents stood behind her, like she'd just cured cancer. Dad had his hands on her shoulders, Mom was filming with tears in her eyes, and I was holding a slice of cake I hadn't asked for. The dining room felt smaller than usual, or maybe I'd just gotten used to making myself smaller in it. Dad cleared his throat in that way he does before announcements, and I already knew whatever came next wasn't for me. He pulled out an envelope, the fancy kind with gold trim, and placed it in front of my sister. She opened it with the kind of careful excitement people have when they already know something good is coming. Inside were plane tickets, hotel reservations, and an itinerary for 3 weeks in Europe: Paris, Rome, Barcelona. The works. My sister screamed, actual screaming. Mom started crying harder. Dad pulled her into a hug and said she deserved the world, that she'd worked so hard, that this was just the beginning of everything she'd accomplish. I sat there doing the math in my head. 3 weeks in Europe, decent hotels, spending money. I estimated around $15,000, maybe more. Then Mom turned to me, still dabbing her eyes, and slid a small envelope across the table. My turn, apparently. I opened it already knowing it would be bad, but not knowing how bad. A $25 gift card to a coffee chain I didn't even go to, a note, in Dad's handwriting about learning gratitude, about understanding the value of money, about how my generation expected everything handed to them. I read it twice. The irony was so thick I could have choked on it. My sister was already on her phone, texting friends about Europe. Mom was asking if she needed help shopping for the trip. Dad was refilling his wine glass, looking satisfied with himself. None of them were looking at me. I told them, "Thank you." I smiled. I ate my cake. I waited exactly 2 hours until they were all in bed, and then I started packing. The thing nobody in my family seemed to remember, or maybe they just never bothered to know, was that I'd been freelancing as a software developer since I was 22. I worked from the house because it was convenient and cheap, but I wasn't living there out of necessity. I was pulling in around $8,000 a month, sometimes more, depending on contracts. I'd been paying the mortgage for the last 18 months. It started small. Dad had lost his job during a corporate restructuring, and while he was looking for something new, money got tight. He asked if I could chip in for a few months, just until he got back on his feet. I said yes because that's what you do for family. 3 months turned into 6. Then a year, and suddenly, I was covering the whole mortgage, while Dad worked part-time consulting gigs, and Mom kept her job at the school district. They never asked me to take over the payments. It just happened. The first time the mortgage was due, and Dad didn't mention it, I paid it, because I didn't want them to lose the house. The second time, same thing. By the third time, it was just understood. Nobody said thank you. Nobody acknowledged it. It became invisible, like me. I helped my sister with her college tuition too. She went to a state school, but even that wasn't cheap. I covered her books, her meal plan, some of her rent. She never asked directly, but Mom would mention how stressed my sister was about money, and I'd send a transfer. 2,000 here, 1,500 there, it added up. When she graduated last spring, she thanked Mom and Dad during her speech. I was in the crowd, 3 rows back, holding flowers nobody asked me to bring. I owned a truck, paid in full, that I bought myself 3 years ago. I owned my own computer equipment, my own furniture in my room, everything I needed to work. I could leave tonight, and the only thing I'd miss was the house itself, and even that was negotiable. It took me 4 hours to pack everything that mattered. Clothes, electronics, documents, the watch my grandfather left me before he died. I loaded it all into my truck as quietly as I could. The house was dark except for the hallway nightlight Mom left on. I could hear Dad snoring from their bedroom. My sister's door was closed, probably already dreaming about the Eiffel Tower. I left the gift card on the kitchen counter with the note still attached. What would I even say that the gift card didn't already communicate? I drove to an extended stay hotel, 20 minutes away, and checked in for a month. The room was small, but clean, with a desk big enough for my monitors, and a kitchen area I'd probably never use. I set up my workspace, plugged everything in, and sent emails to my 3 biggest clients, letting them know I'd relocated, but nothing about my availability would change. Then I updated my address with the bank, my insurance, everywhere that mattered. The last thing I did before sleep was log into the mortgage payment portal and remove my saved payment information. I didn't cancel the auto pay scheduled for next month. I just removed my card. When the payment bounced in 2 weeks, they'd figure it out. I slept better that night than I had in months. The first few days were quiet. I worked my normal hours, took my normal calls, delivered my normal projects. Nobody from home contacted me. I hadn't expected them to. I wasn't the kind of son you checked on. My sister posted about her upcoming trip constantly. Outfit planning, packing tips, countdowns. Mom commented on every single post with heart emojis and encouraging messages. Dad shared one to his page with a caption about being proud of her ambition. I scrolled past them while drinking coffee that cost more than $25, just because I could. On day 6, I got a text from Mom asking if I was coming to dinner on Sunday. They did family dinner every week, usually something Mom cooked, while Dad told stories about his consulting clients and my sister talked about whatever new thing she was excited about. I responded that I was busy with work and couldn't make it. She sent back a thumbs up emoji. On day 9, my sister left for Europe. The photos started immediately. Her at the airport, her on a plane, her in front of every landmark you'd expect. Mom and Dad commented on everything. I muted her stories. On day 14, the mortgage payment bounced. I was in the middle of debugging code when my phone started ringing. Dad's name on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. Voicemail. Again. On the 4th call, I answered. He asked where I was. I told him a hotel. There was a long pause. Then he asked why I'd left without telling anyone. I said I figured if they wanted to know where I was, they would have noticed I was gone before 2 weeks had passed. He didn't have a response to that. Then he got to the point. The mortgage payment had bounced. Did I know anything about that? I said yes. I removed my payment information. Another long pause. He asked why I would do that. I asked why he thought I'd keep paying it. He started talking about family, about obligations, about how they'd given me a roof over my head for 26 years. I interrupted and asked if he remembered asking me to chip in temporarily 18 months ago, and I'd been very helpful. I asked if he remembered it was supposed to be temporary. He said things had been tight. I asked if $15,000 for my sister's vacation was tight. The line went quiet except for his breathing. He told me I was being unreasonable, that my sister's trip was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that I didn't understand how hard they worked to save for it. I asked him what he thought I'd been doing for the last 18 months. He said that was different. I was contributing to the household I lived in. I told him I didn't live there anymore. He asked what I wanted. I said nothing. I didn't want money, I didn't want apologies, I didn't want anything. I just wanted to stop being invisible. Then I hung up. Mom called 30 seconds later, crying. She asked how I could do this to them, how I could just abandon my family. I asked if she remembered my birthday last year. She went quiet. I asked what she got me. More silence. I told her it was a card with $50 in it, and a note about being responsible with money. My birthday was 1 month before my sister's. I'd gotten a card, my sister got Europe. She started crying harder, saying I didn't understand. Saying my sister needed support right now, because she was starting her career, because things were hard for her. I asked what was hard about a fully paid lifestyle, and a European vacation. I said I was being honest. She hung up. I blocked both their numbers, and went back to work. My sister called that night from Rome, 6 hours ahead and furious. Someone had told her what was happening. She asked how I could ruin her trip like this, how I could be so selfish. I asked if she knew I'd been paying the mortgage. She said of course, everyone knew that. I asked if she knew I paid for her books and rent. She hesitated, then said Mom had mentioned I'd helped out. I told her I'd sent her over $20,000 during college. She went quiet. I asked if she'd ever wondered where that money came from, if she'd ever thought to say thank you, if she'd ever even acknowledged it. She said she thought Mom and Dad were helping her. I told her they were, with my money. She called me petty. She said family was supposed to help each other without keeping score. I agreed, and asked why the helping only went one direction. She didn't have an answer. I told her to enjoy Paris, and hung up. The next week was a blur of angry voicemails I didn't listen to, and text messages I didn't read. I updated all my passwords, made sure my banking was secure, and doubled down on work. I picked up 2 new contracts, and raised my rates. If I was going to be on my own, I might as well profit from it. 3 weeks after I left, Dad showed up at my hotel. I don't know how he found me. Probably called around until someone confirmed I'd checked in. He knocked on my door at 9 in the morning on a Saturday. I opened it, but didn't invite him in. He looked older than I remembered, tired. He asked if we could talk, and I said we were talking. He asked to come in, and I said no. We stood there in the doorway, him in the hallway, me blocking the entrance. He told me they were going to lose the house. The bank had sent a notice. They were behind on the payment, and, with dad's consulting income and mom's teaching salary, they couldn't cover it. They needed help. They needed me. I asked what they'd done with the $15,000 they spent on my sister. He said that money was already gone. I asked what they expected me to do about their poor financial planning. He said I was their son. I was supposed to help. I said I had helped. For 18 months, and all I got for it was a gift card and a lecture. He tried a different approach. He said he was proud of me, that I'd done so well with my business, that they'd always known I was capable. I asked why he'd never said that before. He didn't answer. Then he started crying. Actual tears. He said he was sorry, that he hadn't realized how unfair things had been, that he'd taken me for granted. He said Mom was devastated. My sister had cut her trip short and come home, because the fighting was so bad. Everything was falling apart, and it was his fault. I told him I believed that it was his fault. I also told him it wasn't my problem anymore. He asked what he was supposed to do. I suggested he sell some things, cut back on expenses, maybe skip the next European vacation. He said that wasn't fair to my sister. I said a $25 gift card wasn't fair to me. But here we were. I closed the door while he was still standing there. 2 days later, my sister showed up. She'd been crying, I could tell from her face. She asked if I was happy now that I'd destroyed the family. I asked if she remembered my birthday dinner. She said of course. I asked what I'd gotten. She stammered, then admitted she didn't remember. I told her it was a gift card and a lecture, while she got $15,000 in travel. She said it wasn't a competition. I agreed, it never was, because you had to be competing to lose, and I'd never been in the running. She broke down completely then, said she didn't know. That she thought I was fine, that I always seemed fine. I told her that was because nobody bothered to ask. She said she was asking now. I said it was too late. She tried to guilt me, said I was hurting Mom and Dad, that they might actually lose the house, that I was being vindictive. I asked if she'd offered to help with the mortgage. She said she didn't have that kind of money. I asked where her money went. She said she had student loans and expenses. I pulled up my banking app and showed her the transfers I'd sent her during college. $22,400 over 4 years. She stared at the screen like I'd hit her. She asked why I never told her. I said I shouldn't have had to. She asked what I wanted from her. I said nothing. I didn't want her money. I didn't want her apology. I just wanted her to understand what it felt like to be invisible. The thing about burning bridges is that everyone assumes you're angry. They think you're lashing out, being emotional, making decisions you'll regret. But I wasn't angry. I was clear-headed for the first time in years. I'd spent my entire adult life making myself useful to people who didn't value me. I'd pay for things without being asked, because I thought that's what love looked like. I'd stayed quiet when I was overlooked, because I didn't want to cause problems. I'd shrunk myself down to fit into whatever space was left over, after everyone else took what they needed. And for what? A gift card and a lecture about gratitude. The mortgage situation resolved itself without me. Mom and Dad sold the boat Dad had bought 2 years ago that he'd used exactly 3 times. They downsized their cable package, started eating at home more, cut back on the lifestyle inflation they'd been living with. My sister moved back home to save on rent and started contributing to household expenses. They refinanced the mortgage with a cosigner and worked out a payment plan with the bank. They just had to actually budget for it. Mom sent me a letter, actual mail, about a month after everything imploded. She didn't ask me to come back. She didn't guilt me. She just apologized. Said she failed me as a mother, that she'd gotten so caught up in helping my sister that she forgot I might need help too. She said she understood if I didn't want a relationship anymore, but she hoped eventually I'd give them a chance to do better. I didn't respond. Dad sent an email with the subject line, "I'm sorry." Inside was a long message about how he'd always seen me as self-sufficient, how he'd mistaken my capability for not needing support, how he'd let his pride about my sister's achievements blind him to his failures with me. He said he was in therapy now, trying to understand how he'd created such an imbalanced family dynamic. He didn't ask for forgiveness, just acknowledged he'd broken something that might not be fixable. I archived the email. My sister called once a week for 2 months. I never answered. She left voicemails that started angry, turned desperate, then eventually just sad. The last one she left, she said she finally understood. She'd been talking to her therapist about family dynamics and realized she'd been the golden child without even knowing it. She said it wasn't fair, that I deserved better, and that she was sorry she'd been too self-absorbed to notice. She said she missed me, but she understood if I needed space. I saved the voicemail, but didn't call back. 6 months after I left, I moved into my own apartment. Actual apartment, not a hotel. One bedroom, big windows, space for a proper office setup. I worked from home, made more money than I'd ever made, and came home to silence that felt peaceful instead of suffocating. I started going to therapy myself, trying to untangle why I'd let things get so bad for so long. My therapist asked if I'd ever set boundaries with my family. I said no, I just tried to be helpful. She asked what I thought would happen if I stopped being helpful. I said they'd probably forget I existed. Turned out I was right. The first holiday season alone was strange. No guilt about what to buy people, no stress about traveling, no sitting at a dinner table feeling invisible. Just me, Chinese takeout, and a movie marathon. It was the best Christmas I'd had in years. My sister got engaged that spring. I saw it on social media before anyone told me directly. She looked happy in the photos, standing in front of some scenic overlook, with a ring on her finger. Mom and Dad commented immediately, with congratulations and love. I scrolled past. 3 days later, an invitation arrived in the mail. Formal, expensive cardstock, my name in calligraphy. I was invited to the engagement party, the bridal shower, the wedding itself. There was a handwritten note from my sister, tucked inside, asking if I'd consider coming, saying it wouldn't feel right without me there, saying she understood if I said no. I RSVP'd no to everything, and sent the card back blank. Mom called from a number I didn't have blocked. She asked if I'd received the invitation. I said yes. She asked if I'd reconsider. I said no. She started to cry, and said they all missed me, that enough time had passed, that we should try to rebuild. I asked if she remembered what she got me for my 26th birthday. Silence. I asked if she remembered my 25th. More silence. I told her I remembered both, and I remembered my sister's birthdays too, and that was the difference between us. She said they'd changed. I said that was nice. I told her I didn't know if there was anything, and even if there was, it wasn't my job to figure it out. She asked if I'd ever forgive them. I said forgiveness and reconciliation weren't the same thing. I'd already forgiven them because holding on to anger was exhausting. But forgiving someone doesn't mean you have to let them back into your life. The wedding happened without me. I saw photos online. My sister looked beautiful. Mom cried. Dad walked her down the aisle. There was an empty seat in the family section that I assume was meant for me. Nobody posted about it, but I could see it in the wide shots people shared. My sister sent me a photo from her honeymoon, with a simple message thanking me for everything I'd done for her over the years. Saying she wished things were different. Saying she hoped I was happy. I didn't respond, but I didn't delete it either. A year after I left, I was making close to $10,000 a month consistently. I moved into a bigger place, bought new furniture, started dating someone I met through work. Life was good. Quiet but good. I saw my parents once, by accident, at a grocery store. Mom saw me first. She stopped mid-aisle, holding a box of cereal, just staring. Dad turned to see what she was looking at and froze too. We stood there for what felt like an hour, but was probably 30 seconds. Mom started to walk toward me. I turned and left through the other end of the aisle. I heard her call my name, but I didn't stop. I checked out, loaded my groceries, and drove home. My hands didn't shake until I was parked in my driveway. That night, Dad sent an email asking if we could meet for coffee. He said seeing me had reminded him how much he missed having me in his life. He said they'd all grown and changed, that therapy had helped them understand the damage they'd done. He said he didn't expect me to forget, but he hoped I might consider trying again. I typed out a response about how some things can't be fixed, how you can't unring a bell, how I'd built a life without them, and I liked it. Then I deleted it and closed my laptop. Some questions don't need answers. 2 years after I left, my sister had a baby. I saw the announcement online. A boy. Healthy. She and her husband looked exhausted and happy. Mom and Dad were in the hospital room photos, holding their first grandchild. It looked like a complete family. My sister sent me a birth announcement in the mail, with a photo of the baby and a note saying she wished I could meet him. She said she understood why I stayed away, but she wanted me to know there was always a place for me if I changed my mind. I put the announcement on my fridge. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I'll ever go back. Some days I think about reaching out, testing the waters, seeing if enough time has passed. Other days I remember the gift card and the lecture and the 18 months of invisible labor. And I know I made the right choice. The thing about leaving is that people think it's about punishment. They think you're trying to hurt them, make them suffer, get revenge. But it was never about that. It was about remembering I was worth more than $25 and a lecture about gratitude. It was about refusing to be invisible anymore. It was about choosing myself for the first time in my life, and that's not revenge.